Hello, I'm Tanisha Townsend, Girl Meets Glass. What that is a wine and lifestyle agency where I am a professor and teach wine and spirits courses at universities. I do content creation for wine brands. I have a podcast. I'm on YouTube, all under Girl Meets Glass. I am from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America, and I've been living in Paris, France for 6 years now. And I am here with fellow entrepreneur and friend Yanique Francis.
Thank you, Tanisha. So, as Tanisha said, my name is Yanique Francis. I've been in Paris for 14 years. Doesn't really feel like it, but I'm kind of aging backwards. I'm a writer, event planner, and part-time professor. You can find me under My Parisian Life, and yeah.
Cool. So what we're going to talk about today is a few things. One, entrepreneurship, how we have been affected by the COVID situation, because I think that's something that we never thought would be a huge problem for us working in tourism, working as entrepreneurs. Paris is one of the most visited places in the world. So we will always have business. We will always have people. It will be fine. But then Corona was like, girl, hold up. We're going to shut your whole entire operation down. And so how we were able to, or are able to, or are trying to, get over that hump and what to do next. So I'll pose the question for you.
Right.
Starting, how did COVID affect your business? Thinking
Right.
last March 2020.
Right. So I'm also a wedding planner. And from one day to the next, I pretty much lost a lot of my clients, but then a lot of my clients also chose to postpone. But what's happening right now, because this is just being drawn out longer than we thought it would, is that basically a lot of people within the travel industry, especially the wedding industry here in France, we're not quite sure what's next. And so what this has done actually and really taught us all is to really band together, but to also have an amazing level of communication with our couples, with our clients, with our vendors, and to just do the best we can, because actually I think everyone is really doing the best they can under the circumstances.
Yeah. For me, same thing, but I did more tours. And I was food and wine tour guide in the before times, and would do group tours. People would come in with groups of 15, 20, or they'd come with their family, and then we'd go out to different wine bars in the city, or we'd do a day trip to Champagne. The thing about that, of course, those things got canceled. But now going forward, the worry is that people won't want to do group trips anymore with people that they don't know. So where you could buy into a trip and you're like, okay, we're taking 20 people to Paris, and you don't know the other 19 people. You just pay your money and you get to meet new friends and all that. Will you want to go on trips with new people that you don't know? Also, those trips take time to plan for the organizer, and then also people have payment plans and things like that. So that's a year out. So the trips people would be planning now, they'd go on next year if they want to go on them. So I am not looking at any type of tourism, anything this year. I am starting to get contacted with quotes and things like that for next year. But for this year, crickets.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, what I've done is taken things online. And for people to be able to experience wine regions, different wine tastings, and what the cavistes in Paris are doing, they can follow me on social media. And I've been able to give them kind of an inside look and show them how that has worked. And so that's something I've been able to do in the meantime. What is something that you have been able to do in the meantime, whether for money or to just keep yourself busy?
I think I've been really, really lucky. Thank God that, I've always taught English. And one of my saving grace is that I teach English part-time. So when the pandemic really hit, I was, as I said, quite lucky to still be able to have this as an option. But to also say, there were a lot of things that weren't really working as well within my business structure and strategy. How can I use this time to make the necessary changes that I just didn't have the time to do before? And so actually in the very beginning, I did nothing. I couldn't really write as well. I was just so stressed, and it was also good to take this step back to reflect and to think about, how do I really want to move going forward? And so with this, I decided, okay, I'm going to keep definitely creating amazing content for Instagram, for Facebook, for social media, because more people are using their phones, more people are online. So this was a strategy for me to just really keep the energy of My Parisian Life going full force on Instagram.
How was teaching for you? Because for me, it was interesting. I actually, due to COVID, got out of teaching English and then more focused on teaching wine. Because now, since I don't have to be in a classroom, I can just use Teams or Zoom or whatever kind of online medium. People love the idea that I'm actually in France. So like, oh, well, we have a teacher live from France. Now I'm like, right. I mean, granted, they don't know I'm in France based on the wall in my apartment. Like, I could be anywhere. I could tell you I'm in Spain, or I could be in Chicago. You just see this wall behind me. But people liked that idea. So that was something that I was able to do because things had moved online. How did you move online with your business, the things you're working on?
I was already a lot online. I have... so My Parisian Life, we have a book club. And the book club actually came about because we had these monthly meetings that were coffee meetups offline. And so during the pandemic, I was really figuring out how to keep this community structure in a very intimate way still online. And so one thing that I also learned with my soul searching in the very beginning of the pandemic and trying to figure things out was that I had stopped reading, and that I actually really enjoy reading. And so I just sent a message out to my readers. I was just like, so I'm thinking of doing a book club, who's in? And so we just started, meeting up online as a book club that kind of replaced the monthly coffee meetups that we would do in coffee shops here. So that's just one thing. And then I started to give my one-on-one consulting sessions, which kind of also replaced the tours that I would do, because I also do tours in Paris. So that also replaced the tours. And just really trying to see how the experience that I have could be of service to just anyone, and how best to package that to still be of service during this time.
And you do that really well, just the way you're able to pull people in using your social media, whether it's a live video or a post, everything like that. It feels like you're having a conversation with each and every person, not like you're talking at them like, here's my post, this is what I want you to know, and that's that. No, it's like a back and forth. Like, you encourage people to continue the conversation and keep going. That's something that a lot of people really try to do on social media, but they don't quite make the mark.
Oh, thank you.
But you do that part really well. So we'll be copying what she does, okay? So we can get that. And also just to give yourself more confidence, thinking about putting yourself out there more, because now people can really see you, us, people, because this is a video. You do videos, we do podcasts, standing in the classroom, but being able to put yourself out there more and in front of a wider audience. Where now we are in front of literally any person on the planet, as opposed to before you could only serve the people that were right in front of you.
Yeah, I think also there were so many clicks that happened right at the beginning of the pandemic, right at the beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement. So many clicks that happened internally. It was almost like I was getting like a treasure chest were being opened inside of me. And one of the other major decisions that I made as well for my brand, My Parisian Life, and then everything that I do, was the intention to show myself more, right? I realized that actually I was hiding a lot of who I really am. And this had caused a lot of internal pain for me in the very beginning when everything came out with George Floyd and especially with Breonna Taylor, because I started to see a lot of similarities of how I dim myself in trying to fit into the system, right? And you know, I know other entrepreneurs talk about this, and one of the big things is working in luxury. I mean, I have my Parisian life, but I also have my wedding work, which is a luxury domain. And working in luxury for a long time, when I started Elope in Paris, I did not have a photo of myself on Elope in Paris because I immediately understood that a lot of people, when they think actually of like luxury and wedding planning, they didn't necessarily think of a black wedding planner. So I actually was hiding myself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until later when I started to talk as well with other wedding planners and other black wedding planners that I realized that we were all doing the same thing, because we were afraid of being put into certain boxes and categories. And then when the Black Lives Matter movement happened, we were just not afraid anymore. We were just kind of like, okay, we're just tired. And so it's not, okay, here, this is who I am. I'm obviously very experienced because you can see my work. Now you will see me. And so that also really was a major change in 2019 for me and just all my projects actually. So now in my Parisian life, you also see me more. Yes. You know, I feel like people are like, oh my God, she's so crazy, she's so whatever, but it's really who I am. You know, like there's a part of me that is very strategic, very business minded, but I'm also like the crazy mom who sings and dances to like reggae and dancehall. And, you know, I was hiding a lot of these things because I thought they were conflicting. And I remember having moments even with my couples and them sharing things with me where I was actually, okay, so you don't really care that the color of my skin, or you don't like, actually, like the people who get it, and the people who don't, they just won't.
Right, so don't worry about them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting you say that because, and not to continue to insert myself in this, no, but with me being in wine, like I felt the same way. Wine is largely white and old, and I am neither one of those things. So I had some kind of hesitation, especially coming to France to do it, because it's like, wait, one, you're American. Girl, what do you know about wine? Two, you're black. Girl, what do you know about wine? Three, I'm a woman. Girl, what do you drink wine? What wines do you drink? And so once I, like last year, thought more about, okay, let me put myself into it, because we are actually the secret sauce of the business. Mm-hmm. Inserting yourself into your business and putting your face behind it and your personality, that's what gives it life. That's what people are drawn to. People could care less about this actual bottle. No shade to the makers of that bottle. But once I put the words behind it and help people verbalize what it is they feel, what emotion they're getting from that, where they can drink this. Oh, let's take this to the park. Let's have a picnic. Oh, you got a guy coming over. You want to serve this. You're meeting parents for the first time. Serve this. That kind of thing. When you put yourself into it, that's what people want. People buy from people, not necessarily businesses. So people want to feel something, have an emotion. And even though we are online through a computer screen, people can still feel that energy. So I think people should just kind of put themselves into it a little more.
100%. I mean, I feel like when we look at the big companies today, right? If you look at Zalando, Spartoo, whatever, Apple, who are they using for their marketing and their public relations? You know, they're going to the TikTokers, they're going to the influencers on Instagram, because the big companies they don't have the heart that the individual who speaks to 30,000 followers as if they're speaking to a best friend. They can't do that, right? So that shows the value in what we do and what we bring to the table in everything that we do, because actually we are the heart, and our differences make up the heart of the wine industry, the wedding industry, the blogging industry. You know, like we are the heart of everything.
And also I think people want to see diversity. People want to see something different. People want to see not just the same old thing that they've been seeing. And for younger people coming up, it's good for them to see someone that looks like them doing it. Because I can think about people that even when I first got into wine, like who was doing this before me? Like who was I looking up to?
For sure.
Nobody, maybe.
For sure. I mean, I think just the fact that we're here living our lives, the highs, the lows, whatever, it's important to also show the lows, because I think one of the things that happens with social media is everybody thinks that life is like this. And it's so important to say to people, like, even if you don't want to be a social media person or whatever, to say that life is never, ever just like this. And wherever you are, I feel like there's so many people who are struggling to have this picture perfect life that we see on Instagram and we see on social media. But, you know, like a lot of that is constructed because we know that images actually also sell, right? We know this and we understand this. But to whoever is listening to this, especially like teenagers and kids, understand that there's value in wherever you are right now. Even if your Instagram doesn't look super curated and very pretty or whatever, the fact that you get up every day and you're breathing and you're doing something that you love is amazing, because you know what, it's at the end of the day, it's your heart that's going to shine through. Even if you don't have like an Instagram or whatever, just take your passion and bring it wherever you go.
Yeah. Yes. I'm like, yes, do that. Because most of Instagram is a highlight reel. Like, yes, I can give you the best 15 seconds of my day.
Yeah.
If I show you 10 minutes of my day, you'd be like, wow, Paris is fantastic. She's living a good life. But you weren't there when, you know, I was struggling and the business wasn't working out well. And this video was in the dark because I didn't have the lights on. Like, you didn't see that part. But I can give you the 10 minutes when I was outside, the sun was shining bright and everything was great. So I think being able to be a little vulnerable, maybe not that vulnerable. So don't tell nobody I told y'all that story. So maybe not that vulnerable, but just showing like the highs and lows, because people regularly think, like, just talking about us and being in Paris, they're like, oh, you live in Paris, I want to do that, it's the dream. Okay, these 15 minutes, you know, this hour is a dream. Yes, it's beautiful here. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
Like being able to move here, like moving here, that was easy. You pack a bag and you come over and you live here. You move here. That part is easy. Now, literally everything else after that, from learning French, from getting a cell phone, to getting a bank account, to starting a business, to making contacts, to all of those things have been absolutely difficult. But no one wants to see that hard part. So you just show the good part on social media. Like, look, I made it. But think about it. We have had some hard times, but we've made it. You said 14 years, 6 years. We've done it.
And also, you don't want to focus too much on that bad time
That
either,
too,
because actually, like, why? It's life. It's just like in the course of 24 hours, like not all 24 hours is going to be perfect, but I'm not going to be thinking about like what that guy said to me in the supermarket when I'm at home cooking dinner for my family or my kids.
You gotta let it go.
It's just, you know, so it's also like sometimes you yourself, like I know from me, I'm all about just like focusing on what brings me joy, how I can bring more joy to myself. I'm all about joy, because, and not in like toxic positivity way, but in a way where I realize that actually the life that we've had, or that I've had personally, has just been so difficult that how can I infuse more ease into my life in everything that I do? That starts with me just bringing more joy into everything that I do and making more ease for myself. And so, you know, everything that I do right now is around that, how I treat myself.
Give me some examples. Like, how are you bringing joy?
I mean, like for example, this morning I got up, I put on some Jamaican music while I was making breakfast. Pierre can tell you. You know, because for
Pierre's
me,
like, I wasn't ready for this.
Because for me, it's all about like getting in the mindset of just being happy as I can be in any moment. Like, doesn't mean that like the shit is not hitting the fan and that I have to deal with certain things, but I don't always feel like I have to fight against things or like push against the grain. I just bring myself as I am in the best mental state that I can. Yeah.
One thing I've done in relation to that is try to be still a little more often. Before COVID, before the world completely stopped, everybody was just going, going, going. Like, oh, we got to post, we have to run here, we have to take the metro here, we have to walk here, we have to do this, read this, write this, da 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 da. Like so many things. But then once everything stopped, it's like, okay, now what? What? Sit still. Okay, wait. I don't know how to sit still. I don't know what to. Okay, where do I put my hands? How do I sit? And so now just being still and incorporating that into life, whether, it's meditation every day or whether it's just sitting with a book or a podcast, but 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, just be still. From that, so many ideas have come up, things that have helped my business, just things that have just kind of happened. It's like, oh, wait, I can do this. Oh, I have this idea. Plans were able to be formulated. I started being able to write things down. So that is how I kind of incorporated what you mentioned into my life. Just let me just be still and just think. We don't give ourselves time to think or dream.
For
When
sure.
people are like, oh, when you were a kid, I dream of this and I want to be this. When was the last time most people have had like a big dream and gave themselves time to say, I want to do whatever?
For sure, yeah. Like the ability to to stay still, to reflect, to meditate. Like I've done that. I still do that. I'm big on journaling. I journal all the time. I work with like candles. I make candles and soap. So I'm a lot into like the smell of things, the feel of things, and just creating calm around me and in my home. I think before I just spent also so much time outside that I didn't realize how important it is to make my apartment a home. And just like the fact of me buying myself flowers every single week now is just it's a big life change, but it definitely just brings so much beautiful energy to my apartment because I have plans, but like the flowers also say that I know that they're not going to last, but it's okay. Their sole purpose is actually to be beautiful, and that's okay. Not everything has to be utilitarian, and not everything has to serve a purpose like that lasts. And so, yeah.
That's such a nice thing. I have tried to work on that with the flowers. Every time I get flowers, I'm like, oh my God, they're beautiful. I should do this more often. And literally never think about it again. Until it's like a holiday, or I just happen to randomly walk past the florist. That's something that I kind of do. All right, so we have here a Paris foodie bag, but like for wine. So it's like part you, part me. What's up with this bag?
It's a whole lot of things. It's a wine bag. It's a baguette bag. It's an accessory bag. It's an everything bag. So the Paris foodie bag is a project that I started in 2017 to offer picnic services for Anglophones coming to Paris. And this year I decided to create the wine bag version, which is this beautiful little tote here. And then you can fit also a baguette inside. But I also like it for just like accessories. It goes with everything. I like it.
It's perfect size and everything. And I love it because a lot of times, okay, when I go to people's homes, they expect me to bring wine because I'm going to bring the good wine. If I don't bring it, then I have to drink their $3.99, like whatever they got. And I'm usually like, I feel a way about it. Anywho, but with this, I'm not just holding the wine in my hand by the neck of the bottle. I can carry it with the strap on my shoulder and, comfortably carry it. I actually have a cooler, a wine chiller wrapped around that. I don't want to move the microphone and grab it. But that's
it's
something
reusable.
that works out really
it's
well.
Cute, it's reusable,
Absolutely.
It's sustainable. I think just like cutting down on plastic is just great overall.
And so if we want to get a foodie bag, where do we get this from?
Everything is under My Parisian Life. Like you can start under My Parisian Life. There's also an Instagram, it's Paris Foodie Bag, but everything is under My Parisian Life, Instagram and website.
Cool. And so, as for Girl Meets Glass, we got a lot happening. We're podcasting, we are doing virtual wine tastings, and we have a membership club coming up. So, stay tuned on all forms of social media and then also on the website, girlmeetsglass.com. Sign up for the newsletter to make sure you know what's happening because you want to be a member. We drink wine.